when you are developing a bit, it gives you a different feel because you write something down, you go in front of an audience, you tell them the joke, then you filter it, you remove the things that didn't work, and you do that 50 times, and then there is a joke. I don't feel like I have not been on stage, because stand-up is something, if you don't do it for a couple of weeks, you become rusty. And that was 8 months. I did not do stage for 8 months.
So what did you end up doing in that time? What did you spend? Did you try and focus on writing or?
No, I had a baby.
Hello and welcome back to the DeadAnt ChatRoom. This is your host Anush Kapil, and today we have with us Delhi-based comedian Devesh Dixit. Welcome to the show, Devesh.
Thank you so much.
How has 2021 been treating you so far?
Much better than 2020. So I don't know, when things are starting to get back to normal. They are mostly normal abhi to. Touch wood. Let's hope they stay normal for a while.
Since I was trying to do some research and look up interviews, but you seem to have been quite a private person.
Yes.
So let's start with some background. You started comedy after you moved to Delhi in 2015.
Yes.
Where were you earlier? Like, tell us about life before comedy.
So, comedy, I've always been into stand-ups. I used to watch a lot of stand-up. So, this was something that fascinated me. But I never really tried it because the cities I was working in. So, I was working a sales job at this pretty nice company. But the locations I was at, they were remote. So, stand-up was not a thing there. So I didn't really get a chance. So when I finally moved to Delhi in 2015, I started hitting up these people who were running open mics here. I used to send emails and stuff. One of them responded. I went, did a spot of 5 minutes. It went really well. I don't know how. So that gave me a lot of confidence. So I went back a second time, I went back a third time, and then I never stopped. So that's the story.
That's great. What was the story before comedy? I know you did an MBA, but...
Oh, okay. Acha. Average guy. I didn't really know what to do with my life. I was just going with the flow. Whatever my friends were doing, I was doing. So that led me to do MBA. That led me to work at an MNC. That led me to do a lot of things that I didn't really want to do, but I had to do something. So I was doing a lot of stuff that my friends were doing.
A lot of that is now material for comedy.
A lot of that is now material for comedy. So yeah.
So I read in an interview, you said that you first realized you had a way with words in class 5. And you won an essay writing. What was the essay about?
Okay, the essay I think was about a very boring subject. Road safety.
I still remember. Road safety
was the subject. But so that is when I realized, because it was a very boring subject, but I still cracked a few jokes here and there in the essay, and the people who were judging were very impressed. So that was the first time I thought, I have a knack, I can do things with boring stuff as well. So
you went from road safety to road rage.
Road rage, right? Directly.
And so a lot of your video, a lot of work is based on observational comedy. I'm guessing living in Delhi must be like a treasure trove of inspiration.
I'm still developing that skill. A lot of observational comics are really good at it. Like they would, they would really look at things and, at the moment they would have an idea, an inspiration. I still am not skilled enough. Maybe 10 days after something happened to me, I would feel like, okay, that was something that I might be able to write about. I still let a lot of things go. So I don't consider myself an observational comic. I don't observe at all. So my material mostly comes out of things that happen to me. So observational comics are skilled enough that they look at things that are not happening to them, things that are happening around, and they make a set out of that. But my sets are always very self-centered. So it's all that is happening to me that goes into the material. So I'm still developing the skill.
Someday. I've noticed in your video, especially, a lot of comments also kind of compare you to Bassi. And I've noticed on
Okay.
Instagram you guys have made a couple of jokes about each other. Is that like a friendly rivalry?
Not a rivalry as such. See, people compare you to some. See, whenever somebody sees anything, the first instinct is to compare it with something. Like they want to put you in a box that they understand. So whenever you see something, you're like, oh, this is like that. So that is why people tend to compare, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with comparing people, but I still think that Bassi and me are very different in terms of how we approach our material, our delivery, the way we present our jokes. So Bassi is more of a storyteller. I tell stories too, but I have small jokes as well. Bassi is mostly storytelling. So yeah, I don't think there's anything to compare there, but people tend to, which is okay. Rivalry तो obviously not, we are friends. और उसके अलावा तो मतलब rivalry तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं कहूँगा मैं. बस्सी has मतलब surpassed me. He's gone way above. So rivalry तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं है.
But you enjoy playing on that little comparison.
Of course, but internet पे whatever happens, you have to have fun with it. Otherwise, there's no point going on the internet. Then there's only negativity.
So,
Alright. So coming to what you've been doing recently, you've just taken a solo special on tour. I think it's called Full Enjoy.
Full enjoy, right?
So is this your first hour? Like first hour that you're taking on the road?
Not really, but I haven't. Matlab, the last one I didn't really name it. So I was touring, but it was Devesh Dixit live. So it didn't really have a name. So this is the first time I gave it a name to differentiate it for the audiences, basically, to tell them that it's a new show, which is why I've named it.
And what should we expect from Full Enjoy?
It's amalgamation. It's not really there's no theme as such. It's random. It's a mixed bag. There are a few jokes, a couple of opinions, one story, and basically, it's a mix. It's a variety of things I'm doing on stage.
And you call this a special. So is there any plan to tape this? Are there any OTT platforms waiting in the wings?
Abhi not right now. I've just started touring it. So abhi to for a few months I'll be touring. उसके बाद देखते हैं. Let's see where it goes.
So you had a busy year apart from taking this new show on the road. You got signed by OML in July.
yeah.
And I see you've been very busy on Instagram, especially. Like I said, you've been doing comedy since 2015. So what has been the turning points of it?
I wasn't active on Instagram at all. I was only doing YouTube, whatever it was doing for me. The thing is, everything stopped last year. So I had nothing to do and I had a lot of time on my hands. So I had to do something to keep me sane. So I turned to Instagram for the first time. I made a couple of videos and they actually surprised me. So, as in the response they got. So, which is why I thought, okay, this is something that I can do till 2 weeks that the lockdown is gonna go. I'm gonna do this. So the plan was to do it for 2 weeks, and I ended up doing it for a year, I think. And I'm still going. And but Instagram has been good to me. So my ticket sales also, showed some positive response from, the Instagram audience. So I think it's a good platform for comedians, especially.
Yeah, I noticed you've been doing a lot of sort of reaction videos to Reels.
Yeah.
And I think the most recent one was episode 1 of Reel Analysis.
Yeah, I've done a lot of episode ones. If you go through my feed, there'll be a lot of episodes. Episode 1, none has had an episode 2. So I am the episode 1 specialist.
But are you really enjoying the Reels format? Is that something, the short form video that you are really interested in continuing?
See, I'll be very honest. It's easy to do. It doesn't take much of your time. It only takes maybe half a joke, and you're done. So it's easy to do. It's not that satisfying, obviously, because when you are developing a bit, it's a different it gives you a different feel because you write something down, you go in front of an audience, you tell them the joke, then you filter it, you remove the things that didn't work, and you do that 50 times, and then there is a joke. So that's a different process altogether. Instagram reel is like I sat down, I recorded half a joke, I uploaded it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, but like I said before, it's getting me new audience at my live shows, and that is what I want ultimately. So yeah, it's good to me.
You've also been doing other experiments online. One of my colleagues at DeadAnt is telling me you did a Zoom show, where everyone just logged on and sang a bhajan.
No, it wasn't a bhajan.
What was it?
Dule ka sehra.
Oh,
yeah.
Are, it was insane. So I just put up a story just like that. We'll all come on a Zoom call and we'll sing Dule ka sehra. And I got, I think, 5 to 10,000 people interested. And we could only accommodate 100 on a Zoom call. So it was insane. So the guy was managing the call, he went crazy. So he had to chuck a lot of people out to get me in. I was not getting in the call. So it was crazy, but it was fun. And we did it just for fun. And maybe I'll do it again. People have been messaging me. We should do a part 2. Let's see.
I think an interesting thing about the pandemic is everyone's so bored that ideas like these are great. I think we're going to see a lot more flash mobs over the next year and a half because people have just been bored and thinking of things to do at home.
People just want to get into something. They just want to do anything.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the general ways we keep ourselves entertained got very interrupted. So people have, I think, gotten a little more used to, just going with the flow.
Yeah.
Is that something that you notice in your audiences now that you're back live? Like, is the energy in the room different now after everyone coming back to?
Not really, I think. Because see, comedians did all these Zoom shows. So things kept going. It's a different experience, a Zoom show, obviously. It's not the same as a live show. But things they didn't really stop. So we moved to another platform. And now we're back to comedy clubs. So it's not like something had stopped. तो अभी तो वही नॉर्मली लगता है मेरे को पहले जैसा ही.
How about you? Did you do a lot of Zoom shows?
Initially, I didn't want to at all because I talked to a lot of other comedians and they were like, it's not the same feeling, which is obviously true. It is not the same feeling. So I did not want to do Zoom shows at all. Then I got a corporate show, a corporate query, and they paid me a lot of money. So I said, okay, I'll do this one Zoom show. And then I did the show and it wasn't bad at all. So what I was expecting, it wasn't that bad. So I thought, I can do this and it would help me, keep the flow going. So I did a lot of Zoom shows, yes.
Yeah. Did you sort of pick up any new tricks or tips or, had to make adjustments to how, dealing with a very different sort of performance and audience feedback you get?
No, see, here's the thing. I was very selfish in that I wanted to do Zoom shows so that my flow does not break, right? So I intentionally did not change anything. So I was doing the same jokes the same way I would do on stage, so that I am doing the same show. So my audience might have found it a little difficult to follow, but I did it for me. So that once I get back on stage, I don't feel like I have not been on stage. Because stand-up is something, if you don't do it for a couple of weeks, you become rusty. And that was 8 months. I did not do stage for 8 months. So I had to do something. The Zoom shows helped me out a lot.
So what did you end up doing in that time? What did you spend? Did you try and focus on writing or?
No, I had a baby.
That was one of the upcoming questions. How does it feel not to be able to sleep ever?
It was, see, I'll be honest, the baby is what saved me, man. It was a dark time, especially for comedians, having nothing to do. There's nothing.
I believe you got COVID also earlier this year.
Yeah, I did. I did get COVID. I think a couple of times. because the first one was confirmed, the second one some doctors said it was the first one coming back, something like that. There is a dead virus still inside you. There was a lot.
Lot of
So it's
talking.
like malaria keeps coming back.
I don't know. The doctors were like, sometimes the dead virus gives a positive response all of a sudden. So I don't know. So I did get COVID, but yeah, coming back, the baby saved my life, man. So it gave me a purpose, something to do with my life when nothing was happening. So yeah.
I'm guessing right now it's too young for having a baby. It's too early for having a baby to, have any impact on your comedy. But I wonder how being a parent is gonna sort of change things for you going forward. It does end up being a bit of a perspective shift.
I am yet to see any shift. Like, I'm still doing the same stuff, and it hasn't really changed. But of course, having a baby has a change on you. So you yourself as a person change. So obviously, then what you do on stage would change as well.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
And name?
Roy.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
18 years down, Roy is going to be like, how many? Let's go on YouTube and see how many times my dad has joked about it.
Yeah.
Dekhte.
So one of the things that I enjoyed that you were doing earlier was this Carvali series with Pratyush Chaubey.
Yeah.
It was a
Yes.
series of skits. Did you put it in the car because of getting coffee in cars with comedians, or because of all the angry young men?
Arey, nahi. The one agenda me and Pratyush had, the one thing we agreed upon before shooting anything, was that we will not spend 1 rupee. Okay. That was something which was mutually agreed, that we are going to make something for YouTube, but we will not spend anything. So everything was out, microphones, cameras, everything was out of the question. Then I had an idea that we could do inside a car. So we tried it, and it looked really nice. So we continued it for 3 more videos.
So is that are those sketches with Pratyush or collaboration with other comedians something you're looking at doing more? Is there some more stuff in the pipeline?
I've been the lockdown, it really gave you a lot of time to do a lot of stuff. So I've been talking to a lot of people to come up with a lot of stuff together. Some of it we did sit down and try to get it done. A couple of things are in the pipeline, so it might come out soon. A couple of things got shelved, and a few, like myself, I went back touring. Other comedians are also touring now. So comedians are now busy. So a lot of things are unfinished, but they might come out in the future. But a lot of things started, yes.
One final question. If there's one piece of advice you'd like to give to any sort of young comedians out there, what would that be?
There's no advice really. There's only one thing. If somebody wants to become a comedian, there's only one thing you can do. You have to sit down. You have to write whatever you think is funny. You have to take what you have written to a comedy club. You have to go to an open mic, perform it in front of a bunch of strangers, and then you keep doing it, like for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it takes, until you can do it like full time. So there's no other way around it. All you have to do is write jokes, go perform. That's it. That's the only thing.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure having you here. Hope to see you performing full enjoy sometime soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.